Hello. So I am here today just kind of hanging out in my craft room and enjoying my space and enjoying this lovely October day. And I bought a tripod, right? So I have this tripod here. First time I used it and it broke. And I was really looking forward to trying it out and to filming a video for you guys on how to make this Halloween card that I got the idea to make. And unfortunately, my tripod broke and I'm still dead set on filming this video. So we're just going to have to kind of do things the old-fashioned way, I guess you could say. And I'm just going to do my best and in showing you all how to make this card. So I'm going to be using a combination of these 3 stamp sets. First, I'm going to be taking the crow from this stamp here. I'm not actually, that's probably the last image I'm going to stamp, but I'm going to be using that one. And then I'm going to be using these 2 leaf stamps. And I'm also going to be using this little swirl flourish stamp here. And so my idea behind this card is I wanted to make a card that had a cool, spooky, blustery wind blowing through, and then I'm also going to be using this really cute, distressed Happy Halloween stamp as well. So I'm going to be, the cardstock I've selected is black cardstock, orange frame, and then the white cardstock is going to have all the stamped images on it. So first, I'm going to take the flourish, and I'm going to sit up now, and you're going to get a nice shot of my chest. So I'm so annoyed. I can't believe it broke after the first use. Okay, so I'm going to be putting my flourish stamp on my block. And when I do that, I just kind of like start at one end because I'm trying not to get any bubbles in there, so I just start at one end and work my way over and try to get as few bubbles as possible. And then I get my paper. I'm going to be using this Ranger Archival ink, and it's waterproof and permanent. And I am just going to, I like to do it this way where I actually stamp, ink the stamp, you could say, ink the stamp upside down. That way I can make sure that the entire stamp is being inked. Okay. So I'm going to be, the wind is coming up this way and going to go like that. So I'm going to start right here. And you don't want to rock your stamp, you just want to go up and down. Okay, so there's the first image. Next, I'm going to come through and I'm going to be using the larger one here. So it's this one right here. Okay, and I'm going to be using my Tim Holtz Distress ink in brushed corduroy. And again, I'm just making sure the entire stamp is fully inked, and this distress ink, it does make the stamped image look distressed. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to come through, and so it's going like this, and I just kind of position it how I think it'll look good, and go straight down and make sure the whole thing, you don't want to rock it, but you just press the entire stamp to make sure all the ink gets transferred to the paper. Okay, then I'm going to come in with the smaller leafy flourish, and for this one I'm going to be using this Brilliance archival ink, and it's a pigment ink and it's pearlescent and it's an orange color. It's really pretty. I really love this stuff, and I need to get more colors because this stuff is really cool. The ink transfers really well to the paper, and it's almost like permanent ink. It even sticks to the ink pad and sometimes, or to the stamp, and sometimes it's kind of hard to wash off, so keep that in mind when you're using it. Okay, so there's my flourish. Let's see. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to come in with my Happy Halloween stamp, and I'm going to be using the Ranger archival ink again for this. Oh, just dropped it on myself. And I just want to make sure that the whole image, once again, is totally inked. Okay. So there's that, and I wanted to use, this symbolizes obviously the changing of the leaves, and I had brown, and the brown I wanted to use this stuff, and this is some ink I've had probably since I was a little kid, and it was dried out, so I had to use the distress ink. But it actually turned out pretty well because this particular stamp is a distress stamp. The stamp itself actually has cuts and stuff in it to make it look antique-y, distressed. So I think it worked out pretty well. So now, the last image I'm going to be stamping is the image of the crow right here. And I'm just going to perch the crow right on top of the H of the Happy Halloween. And again, I'm going to use the archival ink because he's a black crow, so I'm going to use black ink. And if you ever get any ink on your stamp block, just wipe it off because you don't want that to transfer to your paper. So I'm just going to line this up the best I can. Cool. All right. So there it is. Now I'm going to use my Scotch tape roller. I love this thing. And I'm going to stick this to my orange paper. And I used to use those snails, the little, they almost look like one of these whiteout. So it's the same kind of thing, except I was blowing through that stuff so fast. So I ended up buying one of these things based off of a recommendation that this lady gave me at a stamping party that I went to. and I love it. So I cut my frame, or my mat, so there was a 1/4 inch on all the way around. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Hello, I forgot to distress this. And so I'm going to be using the Tim Holtz Distress Ink and this Tim Holtz stamp pad. And this you can buy these little foam pads to go with this, and they're Velcro. And so this is the one that I use with my corduroy distress ink, and I just use it over and over and over again. And then I have other ones that I use for other colors, so that way, I mean, you don't have to throw them away after you use them. You can just keep using them over and over again. So I'm just going to go around the edges here of the paper and distress it. And it's funny because usually I have a little tool that I use, and I'll show it to you in a minute, that I use to fray the edges of my paper. But I need to replace the blade on my paper cutter, so it's actually doing it for me, which is kind of nice. So that's something to consider too when you have your craft supplies, is to save that dull blade on your paper cutter, and you can like label it, you know, with a black marker or something like that, and that can be your distress blade. Anyway, so I'm even gonna go, I kind of want to have this, I want this to have a tea stain look, and so I'm even gonna kind of go on top of the image itself and on top of the paper like that, to give it like a tea stained appearance. Okay. Now I'm ready to mount it to my orange cardstock. And I'm just gonna make sure, line it up the best that I can and make sure that it's even all the way around. Like so. And then I'm going to take my Dimensionals foam squares, and I actually cut these because I feel like these squares are pretty big, and so I like to cut them into 4s because I think I get a lot more bang for my buck that way. So I'm gonna do that right now. And I just put them all along around the corners of the paper, like so. All 4 corners, and then I put some in the center too because you don't want it to cave in the center. So I'll usually put, you know, 2 or 3 in the center. Sometimes I'll even do like a little diamond shape, which is what I'm going to do today. I'll do a little diamond shape in the center. And we're just about finished. Let me just peel off these little pieces of paper here, and then I will mount it to my black cardstock. And again, I'm just going to do my best and make sure it's even all the way around. And there you have it. Ta-da! Quick, easy card. I mean, you know, it only took a few minutes to make this card, and I think it's pretty unique and fun looking and festive. So I hope you enjoyed my video, And once again, I apologize for the quality of the video, and I'm so upset. My tripod broke, and hopefully I can get a replacement for this. So next time the video quality will be much better. And keeping that in mind, please like and share this video with your friends. Thank you. And also leave comments, as to what other types of crafts that you would like to see. I like to do needle felting. I like to do card making, polymer clay. I make polymer clay charms, and I do jewelry design, specifically vintage assemblage jewelry. So if you'd like to see any of those kinds of things, just let me know. I'd be happy to show you how to do those things. Have a great day. Bye.